Washington Spirit and your Chicago Red Stars. The officials for today's match are referee Josh Wilkins, assistant referees Danielle Chesky and Rachel Smith, with fourth official Jordan Penn.
Welcome to Benedictine University Sports Complex. A treat tonight and a battle in the NWSL between the second place Chicago Red Stars and the third place Washington Spirit. And a beautiful day here at Lisle, Illinois. And before this night had started, there were the rains coming down in the city of Chicago and the fog was there. But now that it's time to hit the pitch, the skies have opened up and it's a beautiful day. I am Lisa Byington, happy to have you with us, happy to be here as part of the announce crew here for the Chicago Red Stars alongside the Illinois women's soccer coach, Janet Rayfield. We enjoy your expertise all night long.
Glad to be here. It's a great night for women's soccer, great night for another great NWSL game.
And the Red Stars are back from being on the road. The Road Warriors, a very successful road trip, won all 4 games. In fact, they have been unbeaten in the last 6, and they have won 5 straight. And they're looking to treat the home fans with another W here tonight.
You know, certainly, it's a streak, I think, a record for this team and this franchise, and certainly want to avenge a loss with Washington. Their only home loss is against this team, and I certainly think they want to correct that here tonight.
We'll pick it up and join the public address announcer, Brett Myers, here with the lineups.
And now,
Starting lineup for your Chicago Red Stars. The captain, number 17, Lori Kolopny. Starting goalkeeper, number 1, Karina LeBlanc. Number 2, Jen Hoy. Number 3, Keisha Morway. Number 5, Zakia Bywaters. Number 6, Abby Urseg. Number 8, Julie Johnston. Number 10, Vanessa DiBernardo. Number 11, Rachel Kwan. Number 16, Samantha Johnson. Number 19, Adriana Leon. The head coach for your Chicago Red Stars is Rory Dames. The Red Stars are also coached by Trey Manning and Christian Lever.
ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps,
And face the flag near the scoreboard for our national anthem, as we honor the men and women at home and abroad who fight for our freedoms and keep us safe.
So just moments away here before we get started between the Spirit and the Red Stars, and we heard a little bit of the Chicago Red Stars starting lineup, and one of the important things here and one of the storylines we're going to have to follow here tonight are the international players. And someone is back. You heard it, Abby Urseg is here, and she is getting her first start.
Absolutely, and I think a spot maybe where the Red Stars feel like they haven't had exactly the right person to complement Kalupny and DiBernardo in the midfield, and Ursig certainly gives them a tall presence. I think a presence in the air is what we're expecting, and a little bit of leadership in that defensive center mid role. Certainly a place where I think they felt like they could bring someone in and that could impact this team, and certainly putting her into the starting lineup tonight means that in training she's probably done just that.
Yeah, she comes back from New Zealand, and as you saw, she will get the start here tonight for the Chicago Red Stars. As the Washington Spirit, you saw their lineup as well. Robin Gale is back after the concussion. She did not play in their last game against Boston, and always you got to keep an eye on Diana Matheson, tied for third in the league with 5 goals.
Yeah, talked to Coach Parson a little bit about Matheson before this, and I've seen her play a lot with the Canadian national team. She's got to be one of the most hard-working players out there, and because of that, she just sees the ball a lot and impacts a game, and certainly feel like she can have an impact in this game. And when you look at the Red Stars midfield and a Diana Matheson and a Lori Lindsay in the Spirit midfield, there could be a pretty big battle in there tonight.
A couple other names maybe to keep an eye on too. Taryn Hemmings is scheduled maybe to be a sub here for Chicago. The folks who we won't see, no Kristen Press again here tonight, no Emily Van Egmond, and no Shannon Box here for Chicago.
And certainly I think, those players are going to make an impact when they get into that Red Stars lineup. And I think that's sort of the story across the league right now is there are players who are entering the league in the next week, in the next few days. Ursig is entering tonight, certainly potentially an injury like Taryn Hemmings. And you're going to see rosters change. Again, talk to Coach Dames and Coach Parsons about how the league is still coming in. The teams are still getting into their stride. They're still working on things. It's a quick start to the season. And certainly the influx of international players or even U.S. players who have been playing internationally are going to impact this league and going to impact it pretty significantly here, I think, in the next few weeks.
We talked about this is a battle between the second-place team and the third-place team in the WSL. And, of course, the next game for Chicago is against Seattle. And you said to me before this game started that you think maybe Seattle is one of the teams that will be least affected by some of these changes.
I do. I don't think they've got the influx of international players. They may have a couple of injuries getting back. Rapinoe's been out for a little while, but they probably have the fewest changes, I think, of the teams coming. So, certainly that's a challenge for them to hold on to that number 1 spot as these teams sort of evolve and change as players are added to these rosters.
Well, it's an exciting time here for both of these clubs, the Washington Spirit and the Chicago Red Stars. They were really two of the teams and two of the clubs that were in the bottom part of this league last year, and suddenly we see the Seattles and the Washingtons and the Chicagos fighting for first, second, and third place.
I think a lot of professional leagues are set up that way, whether it's, the last place team gets the first round draft pick. There's always a way to create excitement and parity in a professional league, and the NWSL has done a good job of doing that for their league.
Well, you're just moments away here from the kickoff between these two teams. Now, this could be a revenge match here for the Chicago Red Stars. The first time that these two teams met, the Washington Spirit came out victorious, a 1-0 win for the Spirit back on April 26. And we are underway here on a beautiful Wednesday night just outside of downtown Chicago, Illinois. We're playing here on Benedictine University. I want to remind you, too, that the lines to keep note of are the yellow lines, not the football lines here, as we see Chicago Red Stars pushing at speed out to Zakia Bywaters on the right flank. Into the corner, Vanessa DiBernardo, and just like that, we have a corner chance here coming up.
Brought to you by the Illinois Women's Soccer League. For every Red Stars corner kick this season, IWSL will donate a ticket to a
Vanessa DiBernardo will
organization.
be taking the corner kick duties here for the Chicago Red Stars, as she always does.
As she has all year long. I think just about any restart that's a service range restart, she certainly has been accurate with her service this year.
DiBernardo going far post, and a clearance there from the Washington Spirit.
And even there, I think you see Ursig's impact. There was definitely who Vanessa DiBernardo was aiming for there, and Washington was able to clear that out. But there was a definite that's the target on that corner kick, and certainly she has the height and the ability to finish something there.
That is one thing that Chicago was excited about on those set pieces, was the increased height and the targets that they would have in those kind of situations. Washington Spirit looking up to Denisha Adams. The flick on. It'll be a throw in here for Chicago. The Red Stars looking to reverse the field. Out to the right flank, trying to chase it down. Rachel Kwan. A 1v1 situation. Up against Diana Matheson, who's not always an easy player to beat 1v1. Talk about Matheson's offensive abilities, but quite the defender as well. Into the box. Ashlyn Harris handles it easily.
Yeah. You know, Matheson's just one of those players who's just going to work and work and work. So she's hard to beat, hard to get around, but someone you always have to look out for. She just plays on both sides of the ball. And, you know, I've seen her play a lot centrally. They've got her out here on the flank. I, you know, wondered what Washington would do with a lot of great central sort of playmaking players they have. And, you know, Matheson's playing out here wide on this side. Denisha Adams on the far side. Looks like both teams are going to sort of set themselves up in a little bit of a 4-5-1 tonight. And that'll be an interesting matchup to see whose outside backs can get forward and help their outside midfielders and create some numbers up situations on those flanks tonight.
We were interested to see what Chicago would do with the availability of Kristen Press and how that might affect a Jen Hoy up top, but they are right now keeping the same format in the 4-5-1 here to start. Washington settling. Out to Robin Gale. Again, Gale with the ball, number 5 in red. Out with a concussion in the last game that the Washington Spirit played. Gale, of course, won a bronze medal with Canada in the London Olympics in 2012, and you can see the kind of muscle that she has here defensively. Working it through the back, that's Allie Krieger. Another U.S. national team member. And there is some of the speed that the Spirit can have. Take a look at Crystal Dunn coming out from behind the back. Spirit threatening. And the hard tackle there in the response from the Red Stars. And there is Dunn again.
You know, that pace on the flank between Denisha Adams and Crystal Dunn, that right flank over there has a lot of pace and certainly something that the Red Stars will have to deal with.
And the Red Stars looking to go up top there to Jen Hoy. So speedy, that is her strength. And Hoy applying a little bit of a pressure. Again, Washington Spirit looking to go up to Denisha Adams, not able to find feet there on that attack. It'll be the Red Stars ball.
For live in-game updates, please follow us on our news game day account at Red Stars Live.
Washington Spirit come into this game with 16 points here in the NWSL. That's in third place, just 3 points behind the Chicago Red Stars with 19. A win today, and the winner gets 3 points. So important in terms of the league positioning here tonight.
You know, I think the thing about this league, Lisa, is every single point matters. You know, and I think both teams, I think especially on the road, certainly Washington would like to come in here and get a point. You know, they're within 3 points of the Red Stars, a game in hand. They've played one more game, so that certainly puts them in a unique situation.
The through ball look there for the Chicago Red Stars, and another good offensive chance there for Chicago here early in the first half.
And again, just the speed of Jen Hoy. It doesn't look that dangerous, and a ball gets played in behind, and she just ends up on the end of things. Her pace and those sorts of things just make her dangerous. You always have to be aware of where she is because her pace can just be that effective.
Play it into space and let her run onto it. Let her go.
That's a lot of the game in terms of the things the Red Stars are trying to do.
Washington trying to control it here out of the midfield. Working their way through the back. We have not seen really Washington work into its attacking third here yet this game. Again, on the counter, here comes Chicago. The one touch, a nice one touch. And a whistle and a penalty called.
I think one of the things the Red Stars do really well is get organized, create that turnover, and then transition into attack right away. I think you saw it right there. Quick turnover, quick attack. Next thing you know, DiBernardo in the box with the ball trying to find Adriana Leone. And that transition from defense to attack is something I think the Red Stars do really well. And certainly sometimes that's fine in Jen Hoy, but their midfielders can get forward out of the midfield as well.
And again, the Red Stars possessing. Any time that Washington has even sniffed at that attacking third, Chicago has controlled and possessed. Zakia Bywater's controlling out to the center of the field. Again, that's number 6, Abby Urseg, that you'll see in the middle of the field there for Chicago. Her first game here playing for the Red Stars. Out to the right flank there for Washington. Dropping it back, it's Crystal Dunn. Working the way over to Diana Matheson. Maybe our first true look at maybe the patience there of Washington and controlling in that possession.
Certainly one of the things Coach Parsons talked about was really wanting his team to link up from the back to the middle to the front, and he felt like they've been able to do it in small numbers, in small areas, but maybe not all over the field. And certainly that was, I think, a better look in terms of really keeping the ball, spraying it around, trying to get their numbers forward. And you see it here, and you're getting numbers forward for the Washington Spirit.
Crystal Dunn moving forward. One of her strengths is speed. The cross into the box. The clearance, and the shot is wide. And that was Denisha Adams' first look. And really Washington's first good look at the net.
Absolutely. And, Denisha Adams floating in from that flank spot into the middle and kind of creating a numerical advantage in there. DiBernardo can't quite get there and block that shot. So fortunately for the Red Stars, it's off frame.
So back the other way, here comes Chicago. Urseg controlling there in the middle. Rachel Kwan looking to get wide. Again, looking up top to Hoy. And the hard tackle there by the Spirit. Into the middle of the field, Christine Nairn, the Penn State star. Working the midfield here for Washington. A little bit of breathing room there for Robin Gale. Ball into the air, chasing it down. Diana Matheson on the left flank. Tries to cross it in, and the clearance there for Chicago. Lori Kolupny, one of the captains there for the Red Stars. A nice move, a cutback move. And Washington responds there defensively. We have a player who's down.
And I think that cross came off of Kolupny's foot and maybe to the head of the Spirit player there.
Looks like Tori Huster is the Washington Spirit player down. Huster had the lone goal against the Chicago Red Stars in that last meeting on April 26. Meeting was Chicago's second game of the year, and it really was the fourth game for Washington.
I was in attendance at that game, and it certainly was a game that you kind of got the feeling whoever scored a goal might win it. Neither team was doing a lot in terms of stringing things or a lot of passes, so it was certainly one of those environments there. So drop ball to start. I think you just saw the replay of where that contact just occurred, and certainly Huster seems to be up and okay and ready to get this going. So get started with a very friendly restart, drop ball to get the ball rolling again, back in possession of the Red Stars.
We've seen Chicago with a couple of chances here, and a corner chance already here early in the first half. Washington had the one shot that went wide right of the goal. And again, Chicago threatening here in its attacking third.
And again, their chances are coming off, some Washington Spirit turnovers, trying to get the ball out of their back third and into the midfield. And, the Red Star midfield picking up balls there and creating and turning those into chances. And if they can continue to do that, make it difficult for Washington to play through their midfield, I think that'll be a good night for the Red Stars.
Denisha Adams playing it up top. Easy to handle there for Karina LeBlanc. LeBlanc, of course, leading the league here, the best goals against average here in the NWSL. Another one of those captains. We talked about Kolupny being a captain, and LeBlanc is a captain. Rory Dames talked about the influence that those two have in terms of the leadership and the veteranship that they have to bring this club along.
Well, I think one of the challenges for certainly the young college players and American players in general is to understand what it truly means to be a professional. And players like LeBlanc and Kolupny understand that. They've lived it. They've got experience doing that. And I think they can teach these young players not about the game itself necessarily, although that's part of it, but they can educate them on what it means to be a professional, that it's a full-time job to be a professional athlete, not a part-time hobby. And I think that's a step that players coming out of college really have to understand and learn, and it takes some time for them to figure out what that means.
He talks about the two veterans. He said, yeah, exactly what you were saying, is that part of our success this year is just the fact that this team believes in what we are teaching and believes that they can succeed. Sometimes just a mental game, that's all it takes. On the set piece there, the clearance. And that was the Spirit's first look at a set piece opportunity. Fighting up top.
Jody Taylor, I think, up top for Washington certainly is no stranger to goal scoring. An English international that I think that's her forte, and she's going to fight and scrap to get anything she can in terms of being a goal scorer up there. So certainly have a fighter and a goal scorer on one end and a speedster on the other in terms of that front target player. And I think, you can play with either one of those. I think Washington will probably try to play into Jody's feet a little bit more and create things, and you're going to see Chicago try to get behind with the speed of Jen Hoy. And that'll be two different things I think you can look at tonight.
Jody Taylor, the 2 goals against the Boston Breakers on Sunday. It's the last game that this Washington Spirit club played, and really, they've had a tough recovery time in terms of playing on Sunday to playing another game here on Wednesday. On top of that, the travel that they had to survive.
And I talked a little bit to Coach Parsons about that, and, I think like coaches do, his thing was, we have to do it. It's a demand we put on our team. We don't talk about it. We don't give them any excuses for any kind of drop in performance. This is the game we have to play. And but I do know they traveled here on Monday and gave themselves the best chance they could in terms of recovery and preparation for this match.
Yeah, always kind of a chess match in terms of what coaches have to do. You see the offsides call there on Jody Taylor. Again, the Spirit trying to go up top to her, get behind the defense. But yeah, it's always sort of a battle in terms of what the coaches have to decide and what's best for the team in terms of conditioning, in terms of recovery-wise. Do you think that that was a smart decision to just travel immediately after they played?
Well, you know, I think it probably was. I think you've got a recovery day in there that you're not going to try to do a lot physically, and certainly to use that day to travel so that you've got maximum time on your training day to do the region you need to do to get the travel legs out, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, for me, I think that's probably a smart decision on their part to travel on Monday, have Tuesday here in Chicago most of the day today, and to get ready for this game tonight.
You see Averbush with the shot. And Washington trying to put at least a little bit of offensive pressure here on the Chicago Red Stars defense here in this first half. For not really getting some solid looks in the first 10 minutes.
You know, you certainly have to be aware of Averbush and her shot from long range. I think she's got the quickest goal record at Carolina, scoring off of a kickoff and scoring a goal from about 60 yards out. So it doesn't matter how far out she is. You better be ready for her to put a shot on frame.
One of those players who also had her jersey retired at North Carolina in the spring of 2009. And there's a lot of Tar Heels in this starting lineup for Washington.
There's quite a few, I think. There's quite a few Tar Heels on the field. And, you know, I think that's certainly you know, part of their program in terms of players that aspire to play at this level and to play professionally, and certainly that program has touched several of the players that are out on the field today,
including yours,
including the announcer here tonight. So certainly have to be proud of the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of programs represented here tonight, and I think that's a great thing about this league is, you know, even Jody Taylor, who's an English international, really had a career here at Oregon State. You've got players here from Stanford, you've got players here from Santa Clara, you've got players here from Dayton, and there's players on these rosters from all different programs, and it just gives young players that are playing collegiately across the country an aspiration that they can look up to and say, I want to play professional soccer someday.
Yeah, you even have the Ivy League represented in Jen
Absolutely.
Hoy with Princeton.
Diana Matheson played at Princeton as well,
Yes.
so you've got two Ivy Leaguers out there playing against each other.
Well, again, the Chicago Red Stars defense so tough.
You know, certainly LeBlanc gets credited with the lowest goals against average in the league. But you got to give credit to this Chicago defense and to rookie Julie Johnston, who's really been, I think, a key part of organizing and keeping that defense organized and reading the game for them. And for a rookie to come in and do that, I think has been pretty special for two rookie defenders. And to have the lowest goals against average in the league, I think says something special about them.
Yeah, drawing the foul there. The 50-50 ball in the air. Julie Johnston, just 22 years old, as you mentioned, one of the rookies, drafted third in the NWSL draft here this year. In fact, as the Red Star fans know, it was third and fourth picks with Julie Johnston and Vanessa DiBernardo.
And I think they got two good ones in that first round. So, you know, certainly two players that have impacted their program here and impacted this franchise. You know, and Julie's a player that could play probably anywhere on the field, but playing in the back is where the Red Stars have needed her and where she's had an impact for them.
Yeah, a member of the women's national team as well. She's gotten called up a few times, and obviously she hopes, and the Red Stars organization hopes, that become more of a consistent thing for her.
And I think she has an invite into this next national team camp later on this month, and certainly will be trying to prove herself to the new head coach for our women's national team, Jillian Ellis. So, yeah, I'm sure she's hoping to put on a good show later on this month.
Interesting here, we already have a substitution for Washington. Bianca Sierra in for Crystal Dunn. And so all the impact, we talked about the speed that Dunn provides here for the Washington Spirit, and Dunn is done.
Dunn is done, and that's unfortunate for the Washington Spirit. Seems to be something going on there that certainly that's not a substitution for player performance. That's something that I'm sure has to do with health or something that's going on with her body, and that's unfortunate for Washington because she certainly makes a difference for this team.
Yeah, substituted in the 21st minute already here tonight. Not certainly something that the Washington Spirit probably would anticipate that they would have to do. Here's a counterattack here, placed perfectly up top. And there is the speed there of Hoy. Hoy with an opportunity and coming off the line with a chance. Ashlyn Harris was the one that made that one difficult for Chicago.
Absolutely, and I always think that Chicago's dangerous when either Lori Kolepny or Vanessa DiBernardo is running at your back line, and Lori picked up the ball in the midfield, run at the back line, played Jen Hoy in, and just tried to dribble around Ashlyn Harris, made it hard for her to do that, and then gets back and blocks the shot there from Adriana Leon. Great play by Ashlyn Harris.
Yeah, heads up play from Leon to get that second chance off, but a beautiful play from Ashlyn Harris to fight that angle and make it tough there for Chicago on the corner chance. That was Ursig. Again, you can tell that she is the target there for the corners here tonight.
Absolutely, and certainly, the Red Stars have been dangerous on the corner kicks and on set pieces. DiBernardo's 3 assists, I think, are there to prove that. Again, you get a look at that goal. Harris does a great job to keep her from dribbling around her. I think Hoy thought, I'm going to dribble around and put this one in. Harris did a great job there, and then got herself up and set and ready again for the shot from Leon. I think you call that a skate save if you're playing hockey, but certainly job of a goalkeeper, keep the ball out of the back of the net, and Ashlyn Harris did that.
A 5-4-1 record here for Ashlyn Harris. Chantel Jones, the backup keeper, has not seen any time actually this year yet for Washington.
I think there's quite a few experienced goalkeepers in this league, and we've got 2 of them here tonight. Ashlyn Harris has been around for a long time. She's a former Tar Heel as well. Has been in and out of the national mix herself. I think got an invite into this next camp. Is going to get another look there, and certainly LeBlanc playing with the Canadian national team. So there's certainly some leadership in the goal from both of these teams, and I think that shows in their record. Certainly Washington has given up more goals than the Red Stars, but they certainly have some senior leadership back there in the back.
Ashlyn Harris has had to deal with ACL injuries in her college career. You mentioned she went to North Carolina, but she was allocated to the Spirit for the inaugural season of the NWSL. On the right flank, that's Bianca Sierra. Again, Sierra in as a substitute for Crystal Dunn early here for Washington. Happened in about the 21st minute of play. Anisha Adams, number 99, will pass it off to her teammate Bianca Sierra there to throw it in there for Washington.
Both teams right now, I think, really struggling to find a rhythm in the midfield. The numbers in there are pretty tight, and you've got a lot of people and not a lot of space in that midfield third right now, and being able to connect up to the front third has really been a challenge, I think, for both teams.
What do you see Chicago here doing, for example, defensively to win that ball right there?
I think that just exactly that. They're putting enough pressure on their backs and limiting their options, and then anticipating that pass into the midfield, stepping in and winning it. And when you get certainly one of the Chicago midfielders, you win a ball like that, you're running out their back line with a lot of space and a lot of opportunities to play. And that's, I think, been where Chicago has seen the most success.
Well, you can see all kinds of pressure, beautifully done. Rachel Kwan trying to take it herself into the box, and Chicago will chase it down. Leon staying with it, up against Robin Gale there on the left side. Gale, one of the left backs for Washington. DiBernardo trying to slip it up to Hoy. Jody Taylor will settle there for Washington. And the Spirit will try to work through the back. That is a dangerous play there with Hoy pressuring.
Join the U.S. Soccer Foundation Team of the Champion for today's year. Visit www.creatingchances.org to learn more.
And so they'll look to regroup here through Ashlyn Harris. Again, Washington has had a tough time crossing midfield because of the pressure Chicago has put on.
You know, you see Huster's looking. She's trying to find a passing channel, and there's just a blue and white jersey in every channel that she, is looking to play in. And that's making it difficult. And, the next option is to try to bypass that midfield, but you've sort of got Taylor up there by herself and 4 Red Stars defenders. So
Leon went down hard, and the yellow card there issued to Robin Gale. So that's not really a welcome back. Gale back after concussion-like symptoms. There's another look. And she is awarded the yellow card.
And, Leon loves to take players on and go 1v1, and certainly a little deception there. And Robin Gale said, no, the ball and you aren't both getting past. One or the other, but not both. And referee decided that was more worthy of a yellow card and probably justified.
You see Ursig, Julie Johnston, part of the targets there, lining up at the top of the 18-yard box. And again, DiBernardo will do the duties in the service. Ready foot. I was looking for Julie Johnston.
A little bit more lofted service there from DiBernardo than you saw from the corner kick, et cetera. Probably looking for something to get flicked on. But, one of the things I think I've talked about before is, Vanessa's serving some great corner kicks and great restarts, but you've got Lori Kolepny sitting over here on the ball. And you know that teams are worried about that. You see them pull people out. So there's a little bit more space on those restarts just because you have to be worried. If DiBernardo and Kolepny come at you with the ball, what are we going to do? And just that little presence, I think, maybe even opens up a few things on those restarts. One of these days they're going to play it short. I keep waiting for that.
Is that what you're asking for?
Maybe I'm sending a little hint somebody's way.
You're still coaching DiBernardo. Vanessa DiBernardo, of course, playing at Illinois, was drafted 4th, as we had mentioned. That's the highest that a player at the university has ever gone at the professional level. With Janet Rayfield, I'm Lisa Byington. Happy to have you with us here in Lisle, Illinois. And there's a chance there for the Washington Spirit. The settle, and nobody is there.
Ball hung up in the air there a little bit and floated over the head of Keisha Morway there on the flank, and certainly put it in a dangerous situation there for Denisha Adams. Certainly probably wish she had gotten that shot on frame.
Yeah, Morway getting her 5th start here tonight. And Denisha Adams had a clean look at it. Didn't look like she was actually looking at the net. She was looking for a teammate.
It certainly looked like that as the ball got played across there.
So these Washington chances have come in spurts here in this first half. We're in the 29th minute. Again, the 2nd place team against the 3rd place team in the NWSL. Washington Spirit in 3rd with 16 points, just trailing the Chicago Red Stars at 19. And the Red Stars, of course, hoping to get those 3 points with the W. They have Seattle on the horizon playing next this weekend. Seattle, of course, in 1st place in the league. And a nice crowd coming out here on a Wednesday night. It has turned out to be a beautiful night. The through pass over to the left flank there for Chicago. And Leon is waiting in the 6-yard box. And there will be a goal kick coming up.
And that's one of the things about the Chicago midfield. Kolepny getting forward there on the inline. It's a dynamic midfield. DiBernardo, Kolepny, Leon, Bywaters. There's a lot of movement in that midfield, and you can lose Lori Kolepny pretty quickly. And she gets the ball, gets the inline. Certainly went 1v1 and just got that ball, I think, over the inline before she could serve it in to make it a little bit more dangerous situation than it was.
Certainly you need those kind of dynamic players if you're going to play that 4-5-1, to have those flank players.
You've got to get players out of your midfield if you're going to play with a 4-5-1. And certainly, Washington's expecting the same from Matheson and, those types of players. Denisha Adams to get forward. You got to have somebody that's going to join Jody Taylor up there and that can get her the ball so she can be the goal scorer that she certainly wants to be.
Again, we've talked about these two teams. Similar shape, similar formations here tonight. Battling each other, the one touch. There's Denisha Adams. Trying to control the cross into the box. And LeBlanc lets it sail over her head. There's so much cool, calm, and collectiveness with Karina LeBlanc. Back
Doesn't
there.
get rattled too much, does she? And I think that's experience. You know, I think that comes with the experience of having been in games. And it's also her personality. I don't think there's much in life that rattles Karina LeBlanc. So, you know, certainly I think that's a trait and a good one for goalkeepers to have.
Talking about someone who made her international debut for Canada back in 1998. A ton of international experiences to see Hoy tracking back and trying to control. Turn there for Averbush. Out to Robin Gale. Goes back up top to Gale, trying to chase it down. It's Gale against Julie Johnston there on the left side.
And it looks like the referee's going to say Julie Johnson touched that ball, although I think she would argue that, Pat. But certainly going out for a corner kick there.
So the first corner chance here for the Washington Spirit. And it'll be Christine Nairn who will do the duties here for Washington. Nairn with the corner chance. And so a good look there from the Washington Spirit. Score still stayed tied at 0-0. So now each of these teams here with a corner chance, here's another look at it.
One of those balls that gets served with a little bit of pace through the box, and Julie Johnson starting to go for it, but thinking, I think if I hit this, it might be an own goal, and sort of ducks. Unfortunately for the Red Stars, that ball goes through the box and out the other side.
LeBlanc looked to punch it out. I think she swung and missed on that.
Yeah,
There was an opportunity there.
opportunity there for Washington for sure.
Looking up to Jody Taylor. Taylor with a chance. Pulls it back. Out to Matheson. Taylor again. The footwork up top. And the deflection there from Chicago.
I think that might have actually hit a Washington Spirit player. I think she might have deflected her own teammate's shot, and another good thing for the Red Stars, because that ball certainly was traveling on target. But I think maybe even actually caught the foot of a Washington Spirit player to keep it out of the net.
We have seen now Washington actually possess there in that attacking third. What has been different there for their squad?
Well, I think you saw there the ability then for two or three of their players to link. You certainly saw Matheson and Jody Taylor keep the ball, keep it in the box, create them some things, attract a lot of numbers, and then find someone who had an open shot at the top of the box. And I think that's the way the Spirit want to play. They want to keep the ball, create things, find a situation where they can get some numbers up. And create something in that final third. Really the first time we saw possession from the Spirit in the final third.
Big clearance there from Washington again. Though Jody Taylor left all alone up top there for the Spirit. And some combination play there from Washington.
You know, and I think there's an example maybe of what Coach Parson talked about. Some great linking in the midfield, some great possession there in the midfield. But then as that link tries to move from the middle third into the attacking third, yeah, just sort of lost it a little bit, didn't have the rhythm, couldn't find the possession that they were really looking for to get that possession out of the midfield to create something in the attacking third.
I see Bywaters applying some pressure there for Chicago. 0-0 as we head into the 36th minute. A game between the Washington Spirit and the Chicago Red Stars here from Lisle, Illinois. Alongside the University of Illinois women's soccer coach, Janet Rayfield, I'm Lisa Byington. Again, we're happy to have you with us. No wind is a factor here tonight. The
You know,
sun may play a little bit of a factor depending on where you are on the field, but a beautiful night here
Yeah.
for some soccer on the
Yeah,
pitch.
certainly, I think the sun was a factor, in the early moments of this game as it sets behind the trees here that surround this track. It's becoming less and less of a factor. But a great night. What seemed to be a pretty windy afternoon has even calmed down a little bit. And, I think it's a great night for these two teams to compete.
Diane Matheson chasing that one down. Up against Rachel Kwan. Matheson, 1v1 against Kwan, looking for support, help. And Matheson will drop it back. Huster. There's a chance. That one's high, up and over the net.
And you saw a great battle, 1v1 battle over here with Kwan and Matheson. And, certainly that's a battle that's going to, I think, continue throughout the night. And will be one to see how that plays out. Kwan's done a great job making her play backwards.
There you see the lefty look from Christine Nairn.
Absolutely. And another player, Washington's got a couple players that will take those shots from long range. Nairn, Averbush, both of them will pull the trigger.
Nairn had a direct shot goal against Boston on Sunday. It was actually a game that Washington had to come back from being down a goal twice in that game against the Boston Breakers.
And you talk to Coach Parsons and the fight in his team and the attitude they're playing with. He certainly likes. He continues to want to see his team link better, connect better, and certainly connect from defensive third all the way into the attacking third. And you can see how his team is still trying to make those things happen.
Yoga by Degrees is the Chicago Red Stars official yoga partner, serving the Western Suburbs with locations in Elmhurst.
Bianca Sierra will throw it in here for Washington. Again, if you're just joining us, Sierra subbed in for Crystal Dunn on the Washington side in about the 21st minute of this game.
Yoga by Degrees.
They're looking for a penalty there in the box. They don't get the call. And Chicago looking to clear. Kwan does exactly that. It's out of play.
Both of these teams doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball locked in. It hasn't been easy for either team to get out of their defensive third. Certainly Washington doing a good job there.
Nairn looking to turn. And a foul and a free kick coming up here for Washington.
And you got Nairn and Averbush on your team. This is a dangerous restart from this distance. Keisha Morway coming out trying to win a ball and certainly going down and making that kind of tackle. And this certainly is a dangerous restart and something LeBlanc's going to have to be on her toes for, I'm sure.
You see Averbush, number 4, there for Washington. Mentioned how dangerous she can be as Denisha Adams tries to shake that off. I mentioned Nairn had the 1 goal and a set piece opportunity on Sunday.
And I know if I'm a goalkeeper and you've got Nairn and Averbush over a ball that far from my net, I'm shaking a little bit. Certainly 2 of the best restart takers probably in this league.
There's a little bit of a hole. Chicago is leaving there on the near side. And right at the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The referee has shown the yellow card to Chicago's number 3, Keisha Morway.
Matheson trying to place it into the box. That's when you know the wall is situated perfectly.
The wall did their job. And, that's what they're there to do, and they have the courage to do it. They certainly did that. And I've certainly seen Nairn hit that ball and put it in the upper 90. So she certainly can hit that ball, but the wall did their job and made it difficult for her.
There's Ursig possessing. See how strong she is to be able to fall to the turf and still maintain possession. Going up top there to Hoy, who settles, tries to control, and Robin Gale makes it tough. It'll be a throw in Chicago.
I think you've seen some of the things that Ursa gives this team. Certainly has won several balls in the air, but you see her physicality that she adds to that midfield, and certainly is doing some yeoman's work in there and allowing DiBernardo and Kolupny to do the things they do offensively.
Kwan, a missed kick. I don't think that's exactly the placement that she wanted on that service attempt. And settling like she does is Julie Johnston, the rookie, looking up top. That Chicago back line, so aggressive. In terms of empowering their will. And DiBernardo slow to get up there for Chicago. Vanessa DiBernardo colliding hard there on the tackle, and she still shook up.
Yeah, certainly a pretty hard collision there between her and Robin Gale. Maybe it just got the breath knocked out of her. Doesn't seem to be holding anything limb or, that seems to be, but certainly having a hard time catching her breath there, I believe.
We talked about Kolupny and DiBernardo. They're the two field players here on this team that have played every single minute here for Chicago this season.
Iron women, I think we might call them. When you're playing central midfield in a 4-5-1 and have to get forward and want to do things, I think that just tells you the engine that both those young women have. Certainly, I've been fortunate to see Vanessa's both at the university and with the U20 national team, but certainly Lori has one that rivals that in terms of just their ability to cover ground and to do it for 90 minutes over and over again. Definitely special in terms of their engines.
The only two players coming into this game here tonight played 810 minutes so far here this season. The Washington Spirit has about 3 players who have played just the same amount. But we were both talking that, Chicago has not played an extra session yet here this year.
I think the league ends in a tie, so and that's a challenge, because when the playoffs come, somebody's going to have to play. Those extra sessions come, so I think it's going to be a challenge for the players who don't get to do it in the regular season to sort those things out when postseason comes around.
Had the one draw on May 11th against Houston, part of this 6-game unbeaten streak here for Chicago. It's the second longest unbeaten streak in league history. Actually, the longest one currently exists here for Seattle, unbeaten through 10. And Kwan controlling there to feat the combination play. Here is Zakia Bywaters. Julie Johnston with pressure being provided there from Jody Taylor. The Washington Spirit come in at 5-4-1. The Chicago Red Stars 6-2-1 here in league play. The second place team against the third place team. That up top. And Taylor trying to chase that down. LeBlanc gets to it first.
It's a great possession again through the midfield for Washington, but it got him from one side of the field to the other side, but then it's that long ball to try to create something on the in the attacking third. So I know Coach Parsons is probably going to be trying to figure out a way that they can get this possession, that they're finding a way to get it in the midfield to move that a little bit higher up the field and closer to the goal they want to attack.
Possibly a possession here, exactly what you're talking about. Working through the midfield, although possessed now by Chicago. A long ball in the air, intercepted there from Washington and controlled there from Jody Taylor. Averbush reversing Fields. We have a whistle and a stoppage of play.
The fourth official has indicated that the referee will be adding a minimum of 1 minute of additional time.
We were told that just a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time is being added here to first half of play. Abby Ursig back for the first time for Chicago, number 6. Played on the New Zealand, their national team. Here's an opportunity for Chicago. Bywaters chasing that down on the right flank. Out to Kwong. And into the box. Chicago trying to settle. And Bianca Sierra was there for Washington. Again, about under a minute here of stoppage play before we get to the half. Chicago and Washington here tied at 0. Counter chance there for Lori Lindsay, and the whistle signifies the half.
And Lori certainly wished she had a few more seconds. I think that's one of the things that both of these teams are trying to get, is a midfielder running at their back line with players coming forward that they can get something, make something of it. And, you know, I think Washington finally had it, and the half ended in order to keep them from doing what they wanted to do with that.
Lori Lindsay was staring at some green field turf there all ahead of her before that whistle came, but we are 0-0 here at the half between the second place Chicago Red Stars and the third place Washington Spirit. What's your biggest takeaway here of the half?
Well, you know, I think it was a game where neither team really did what they wanted to do from the attacking side. Certainly the Red Stars, I think opportunities came from them defending, transitioning to the attack, winning the ball in that midfield and getting forward, and winning it high up the field. I think Washington probably got the possession they wanted in the middle and maybe even the back third, but really didn't link together and create the kind of things that they wanted to in the final third. And I think those will be the things probably that maybe both coaches look to think about at halftime and see if they can't do something. I think the Red Stars will still look to do what they've done in the midfield, pick off those passes and create those turnovers into something. Their pressure in the midfield certainly was great at the beginning of the half, maybe waned a little bit there at the end of the half, and they're certainly going to want to keep that up because it certainly created chances for them as that game wore on.
Yeah, both teams had a couple of corner chances there in the first half. They just could not produce a goal here for the first 45 minutes of play. So we're here at the half with Janet Rayfield. I'm Lisa Byington. We're happy to have you with us, and we will sign off here for a few minutes here at the half and rejoin you as we're about to start the second.
I think as we sign off here, there's some videos here for the Red Stars fans, and we'll take a little break, and you can watch some great videos for the Red Stars fans, and we'll be back to start the second half.
All right, enjoy everyone.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
I'm Kristen Press, forward on the Chicago Red Stars. I've been playing soccer my whole life. I started playing when I was 5 years old. I'm the middle of 3 daughters, and we all played together on the same team with my mom as a coach and my dad as a coach at different points in our career. So soccer's been a part of my family the whole way. I grew up in Southern California, so that's a little hub for soccer here. And yeah, I think that I remember my youth career being in the car, driving to games with my sisters by my side and my parents in the front. I've had a long journey with soccer. It's sort of my biggest relationship of my life. I played, of course, high school and my whole youth career in Southern California, and then I went to Stanford and did my 4 years there before my professional career has taken me to Europe to play in Sweden for the last 3 years. And while youth soccer started off being sort of a joyous car ride listening to TLC, I think that somewhere along the way it got so stressful for me, and I was under a lot of pressure to succeed. And there was a few years in college where I really felt like winning and losing made me a winner or a loser, and that pressure could make me throw up before games, feel sick to my stomach while I was playing. I was thinking far too much instead of playing, and I think I really lost that love of the game. But like any relationship, you go through your highs and lows, and since I have become a professional athlete and I moved to Sweden and I kind of got away from all the things that I knew about soccer and sort of had an opportunity to re-fall in love with the game, soccer has become my job, it has become my everyday, and it's become my passion again. And I rediscovered that through connecting with my teammates and connecting with new places and new people in the world. And I really think that soccer has given me so many gifts, and it has taught me so many lessons, that it has got me through the hardest parts of my life and hopefully will bring me to the highest points. Hope means having the faith to get up in the morning and know that you have a purpose. Whatever it is, maybe you're a soccer player, maybe you're a singer, maybe you're a mom, but just to have the balance and the faith of knowing your purpose and knowing that you are important that somebody loves you and that somebody needs you, and that it's more than just a world about you, that you contribute to everybody and everyone will give you back what you give to them. And I think that the most important thing I learned in football with soccer is just to be present in every moment, because it's a long journey and it's ups and downs and highs and lows, and if you can stay focused in the moment that you're in, if it's a big game or if it's practice in 3 feet of snow, and appreciate every moment for what it is, because every moment is beautiful, and every opportunity that comes around is a lesson that you can seize. I think that that's the bottom line, and that's where you can find your hope.
My name is Julianne Sitch. I play midfield or defense for the Chicago Red Stars. I'm from Oswego, Illinois, but live in Chicago now. I started playing soccer when I was about 5 years old. Started on an all-boys team, as there weren't too many girls teams, and then went on to play club and collegiate soccer, and now professional. Being a teenager. Some stressful times there as a teenager. I think for me, soccer just helped build the confidence level, build kind of who I was. I think for a while, as probably any young child is kind of learning through middle school, kind of who you are, what you're going to be all about. And I think for me, soccer just became that establishment of a place that I could go, express myself, be confident, be crazy, not be judged by anyone. So I always look forward to going to trainings, going to practice, to be with my friends outside of school, all my soccer friends, and really just build my character and kind of find out who I am. Soccer has really helped me build confidence and just kind of who I am and where I want to be at the next step in my life when my soccer career is over. And I think something for me that I'm really passionate about is working with kids. And I think being playing soccer and being around people and being pushed out of my comfort zones, you know, we go to tons of different camps and clinics and travel all around the world where I've been pushed out of my comfort zone, even living in other countries where it's really forced me to come out of my shell. And I think for me, it's been a great contribution to be able to give that back to younger kids and kind of show them and teach them how to step out of your comfort zone, and you're not going to grow unless you are put yourself in uncomfortable situations to challenge yourself daily. So for me as adults still, soccer has been a huge part of that for me, just stepping out and trying to move on to my next chapter in life, whether it's coaching or personal training, things like that. I need to step out of my comfort zone to make sure that the clients and people I'm working with are comfortable. Hope for me is just to have hope, believe in yourself, to have a dream, to have a vision, to go after it, and everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, then it's not the end. And I think that as humans, we always struggle through different things, but I think to tell a 15-year-old girl, you know, it will be okay, it will be better in the end, and find a goal and focus on that and look at one day at a time. Every single day is a new day, and don't worry about yesterday and don't focus on tomorrow, and just try to live in today and, you know, go after the things that you want.
Ooh, are these your glasses? Can I wear your glasses? Yeah.
This is how they
Throw
look
them
on
on.
an older suburban guy.
Okay, let's put them on it. Younger. This is the mic.
And this is how they look on a younger, non-suburban, non-guy.
Oh. Hello.
Actually, it's a nice look.
I'm a little dizzy.
They're for reading.
What?
It happens
Whoa,
to
why is it not, like, aren't glasses supposed to be up here?
No, because then you look over them unless you're reading.
If you put them down.
So what age do you have to hit for this to
At age
become?
42 or 43, statistically, most people start needing reading glasses.
Get that? You have a lot of Canadians on this team. So the big question most Canadians want.
We are Canada South.
We want to know, you ready for this question? Will you play the Canadian national anthem at the home games?
You know, that's a great question. I think we should. I think we should. And we just have to get a copy of it.
I can sing it. Dree,
If you
come
want to
here.
record that.
Come here. Get over here. I was just telling Arnhem that I'm a very good singer and I can sing the Canadian National Anthem.
She'd like you to sing it with her right now.
Yeah, right now.
Sing the Canadian National.
So let's give the fans. Ready?
Oh, Canada.
Ready? Ready?
All right, here we
Do you
go.
know any of it?
I don't.
Okay.
Boy, I wish I did.
Okay.
I
Oh,
wish I did.
Canada, home and native land. Ready? Ready? Come into the mic. A
I
cappella.
don't know the sound yet, so I'll listen this
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot. I'm sorry, is there a problem? Can you get them? I think they have a problem. Arnhem, it would be. Who here would love to hear the Canadian National Anthem? Yep. Now look around. Yep.
That's some Canadian
I'm
fans.
American. I can't sing it. It's like I get thrown out of the country.
I can't even see. Okay. So thank you for these.
Thank you for wearing them. Appreciate that.
All right. So that is the Arnhem segment. He's a chef, an owner,
And an artist.
an artist.
People don't know that.
Can you sing a song for us, just so we can see
No.
any song? I mean, it could
No,
be
I
like
can't.
"Happy Birthday to Julie."
I can't.
Arnhem,
Because I can't.
you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, I'm not going to put my mind to this. But I
Do you
appreciate-
guys
I
think? Do you
appreciate
think he
the
could
effort.
sing?
So
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know what? How old are you guys? Never fall for peer pressure. I don't, and I don't want you to either. So if I were to fall for peer pressure, that would be a bad thing. So don't do it. Just saying. No peer pressure. Doesn't work on me.
Peer pressure, or what? It's what the fans want.
No, the fans.
Send a tweet if you want Arnhem to sing.
Shutouts. The fans want.
Tell Arnhem in a tweet you want to hear him sing.
All right, if you tweet how many 500 tweets.
Yes.
Shutouts every game this season.
How about a win? The fans want to win, and they want to
It
hear
shouldn't
you
all
sing.
be on you, should it?
No, it shouldn't.
Shouldn't all be on you.
The world wants to hear Arnhem sing.
Yeah. The world has heard me sing.
When?
It's just not going to happen right now. It's just-
Okay, we'll settle. Good negotiation, right?
And this is the end of the Arnhem segment, right?
That is.
Great. Thank you very much.
Welcome back here at halftime between the Washington Spirit and the Chicago Red Stars, alongside University of Illinois women's soccer coach Janet Rayfield and Lisa Fines, and we're happy to have you with us for the battle between the second place team and the third place team in the NWSL. As these teams are getting back on the field here for warm-ups, let's take a look at the first half highlights here. We are tied here at 0-0 between the Red Stars and the Spirit, and we saw some pretty good chances here from both teams here in the first half. Here's a few looks at them.
You know, certainly a couple looks. You know, Hoy gets behind as she tends to do. You'll see a lot of balls getting served into the flank. You know, I think Washington getting some shots off some Chicago clears. Here's a battle we've seen all day. Matheson and Quan on the flank. Certainly that was a battle we saw quite often. Kalupny, you see her on this flank, and you'll see her in a highlight later, I think, on the other side. Certainly has been a quite, you see a battle there physically. You see a long-range shot there from Aberbush. And then you see some of the physicality there of Robin Gale. And then you see the serviceability as she fights a ball in there to Denisha Adams. Certainly probably the best chance, I think, for the Spirit there for Denisha Adams. Again, Kalupny now on the opposite flank, trying to get in. Just gets the ball out of bounds there over the inline.
And here's that corner chance there, and the wave and the miss there from Karina LeBlanc.
Yeah, and this is probably the best possession from Washington. Matheson and Taylor getting some possession, knocking a ball back, and unfortunately for them, the ball hits their own player there. Another long-range shot from Christine Nairn. Certainly something that the Spirit can see. You'll see this collision here with Gail and DiBernardo. A couple times that Gail's been involved in those collisions.
Yeah, you can certainly see her physicality and what she possesses there and brings to this team. And this happened early in the first half, and the best chance here for Chicago.
I think the best chance for either team. Certainly Hoy behind, stayed on signs, got a ball in behind, and just tried to dribble Ashlyn Harrison. She did a great job of not allowing that to happen, and then getting back on her feet and being ready to make that skate save on Adrienne Leon's follow-up shot. So she's earned her clean sheet, and we'll see how it goes with the second half.
Yeah, you see there, 0-0 between the Red Stars and the Spirit. And looking out here on the field, Washington has now returned for warm-ups, and slowly but surely the Chicago Red Stars are making their way back here from the locker room.
You know, and you don't see too many of them. They certainly are straggling their way back out to the field, and you know, I guess they had a lot to talk about at halftime. You know, I thought they did a good job defensively, but I'm guessing that Coach Dames had some things to say just about what they were able to do offensively and trying to keep the ball a little bit more. But certainly the battle in the midfield, I think, was the story of the first half. Neither team really able to get the players the ball in a position to serve a great final pass and to really spring someone in. You saw there in the highlights one opportunity for Jen Hoy, a couple of long-range shots for the Washington Spirit, but really not the kind of chances either of these teams want to get the 3 points that they'd like to get tonight.
Yeah, and as we had mentioned, again, it's important to note this is a battle between the second-place team and the third-place team, and Washington comes in with 16 points here in the league as compared to the Chicago Red Stars with 19. So a win for Washington would tie them with Chicago in the standings. A win for Chicago would keep them in pace for Seattle, a team that they meet here coming this weekend.
Absolutely, and you know, I think that's an important thing. It puts them closer to Seattle. Certainly both of these teams, they're looking at each other, but I think every other team in the league is looking at Seattle. You know, that's the team now people are shooting for, undefeated team in the league. You know, that's what everybody has to look. Can we chase Seattle? And every point the Chicago Red Stars gets them a little bit closer to that team that they play later on this week.
You see a couple dance moves there as the Washington Spirit, Denisha Adams, they're having a good time. Again, all 11 players for Washington are on the field, ready to go here for the second half, as still the Chicago Red Stars kind of trickling their way back onto the
you know, and
field turf.
you know, the clock has ticked down to 0. Certainly the referee probably has the ability to put this ball down and blow this whistle and get this game started, although I think the Red Stars would certainly disagree with that. But you know, as players do, entertaining themselves in whatever way possible, waiting for that whistle to start, this second half to begin, and I guess dancing is one way to stay warm.
It is, absolutely, but it's a beautiful night here. As we had told you before at the start, there was rain, there was fog in the area, certainly in downtown Chicago, but the skies have opened up, beautiful blue skies, and here tonight, beautiful temps here on a wonderful Wednesday night here from Benedictine University Sports Complex from Lisle, Illinois. Again, I'm Lisa Byington, happy to be here as part of the announce crew here of the Chicago Red Stars and alongside the University of Illinois women's soccer coach Janet Rayfield. Looks like we are about ready to get started here in the second half. And if you're joining us, an important storyline here for Chicago, number 6, Abby Ersick has now joined the team, is playing in her first game here for Chicago, rejoining the team from New Zealand. We will see some of that international influence here in this league in the next few weeks.
You know, and at first look, Lisa, it doesn't look like either team made a change at halftime. I think you've got the same lineups on the field, and we'll see what sort of adjustments they made within those that the coaches may have made at halftime.
Already some physicality there.
And
Taryn Hemmings.
Not usually Vanessa DiBernardo who's issuing out that physicality, I don't think.
And you
so
would know,
interesting.
Being as her head coach.
Having worked with her, certainly not the one everyone would expect to be issuing those sorts of physical challenges. But I think this league is maturing her into a player that can play with the physicality that does exist in this league.
We mentioned Ersick, and I started to mention Taryn Hemmings, who is on the roster here tonight. We could see her coming back from ACL reconstruction. No Kristen Press. You saw a feature with her involved there at the half. No Kristen Press on the roster. No Emily Van Egmond. And, of course, no Shannon Box, although we expect to see Shannon perhaps here at the end of the month.
You know, certainly those are players that are going to make a difference on this Red Stars roster, all of them. And, you know, as we spoke of earlier in the night, these rosters are still forming. These players are still coming into the teams and gelling. And this is going to be a league that continues to get better and better as the season goes on.
Kolupny trying to provide a little bit of pressure there as Adams touches it into the back line and the backfield there for Chicago. So we'll reset with Karina LeBlanc. And just a missed touch there from Bywaters. Adams battling against Keisha Morway, and Morway there in the back line getting her 5th start here this season for Chicago. Again, you see what you talked about is that battle there in the midfield. It's a push and a shove kind of contest even to start here the second half.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, we're back to, you know, you look at the Spirit and they're certainly getting some possession. And, you know, that was a sequence of 8 to 10, 11 passes. But we really didn't see much penetrating past the mid-stripe. And a lot of that credit goes to the Chicago Red Stars and their defensive presence and the pressure they're putting on the ball. You know, but Washington's got to find a way to break that down and create something on the attacking side.
I think Jen Hoy was looking for a whistle there on that ball that was up to her. And here's an attacking chance here for Chicago. Into the box, but no one is there for the Red Stars.
I think the Red Stars players thought what I thought. Here's Adrienne Leon going at goal, and we're waiting for a shot. And I think the other players in the box were waiting for that shot as well. And a little out of character for her to look to connect with someone else in the box as opposed to take a shot.
We showed you the first half highlights. Leon with that second chance off of the rebound and there the deflection. And she can definitely get in.
I would certainly say she's one of those players who looks to shoot first and pass second. And I'm okay with that. You would like to have those kind of players on your team that take the responsibility to try and score goals. And certainly I think Leon is one of those.
Washington sending it up there to Jody Taylor. Again, both these teams with a similar formation, a 4-5-1 formation. And again, into space and letting Jody Taylor trying to chase it down, but there is LeBlanc. And Julie Johnston, the rookie, number 8 for Chicago, there in the back line. So calm. We talked about LeBlanc's composure. And Julie Johnston, so much composure there for a rookie there in the back line. And there is a foul there on Jody Taylor.
And, you know, you look at these teams, and both, you know, I think all 4 center backs have done a great job. Allie Krieger certainly keeping the defense of Washington, and Julie Johnston down here, and certainly experience versus rookie. But they've both done a great job and really have limited the chances that either team has had.
Bywater so speedy, chasing that down the cross into the box. And Washington controls. Ashlyn Harris, one of those veterans. Both of these keepers we talked about are veterans. There is Keisha Morway. Dropping it back there for Samantha Johnson. And this second half is really kind of starting like the first half did, with Chicago really getting the quality chances.
It is. Again, I think their transition in terms of winning a ball from the midfield and getting into the attack right away is sort of the difference. If you watch when the Spirit win a ball, Their first look is to keep it, to possess it. They play something lateral, maybe play something backwards. The Red Stars, on the other hand, I think they win it and say, can we get Hoy in? Can we get someone in? And their first look is, can we create something off of this turnover? And I think that's the difference in who's creating the more chances right now. Neither team great in possession, but Chicago being a little bit more aggressive with their transition moments than the Spirit might be right now.
They really dictated the tempo early in the first half and really starting the second half the same way. Into the 52nd minute. Again, 0-0 here between Washington and Chicago. An important battle, an important match, and implications for the standings in the NWSL.
And I think for Washington, holding this Red Star attack, with a clean sheet at this point is something that they've got to be proud of. Certainly they've given up quite a few goals. I think maybe second or third in terms of goals given up in the league. So clean sheet isn't something that's a norm for the Spirit this season. And so certainly to be at this point with a clean sheet and have had a couple of chances, I think it says something about the defense. And they're continuing to evolve defensively.
This is a Chicago Red Stars team that really has not seen this home turf here in Lisle, Illinois for quite some time. They had 4 straight road games that they played, part of a 6-game unbeaten streak. There you see a battle and a push and a shove and a little physicality, and Jody Taylor again, the instigator of it here in the second half.
Yeah, a little frustration I think there from Taylor, because I think she thought she had Julie Johnston beat, and a great tackle to reach out and get the ball. And there's where you see the even defensive sophistication of a young player like Julie Johnston. I think if you see that tackle on a replay, you'll just see a sophisticated defender who's able to strip a pretty good attacking player of a ball down there, and a little frustration, Taylor trying to win that ball back.
So a couple of yellows here issued here for Washington. One to Robin Gale in the first half, and then there to Jody Taylor here early in the second. And controlling it is Christine Nairn. Aberbush back to Nairn. This time working the left side here for Washington. And what a move that was. This time Taylor dropping back and tracking back into the midfield. Bywater's controlling. There's Urseg. Again, Urseg playing in her first game back here for Chicago. Back from New Zealand here for the first time here this season. Captain of the New Zealand national team. In fact, this Red Stars team has several captains who are either currently or former captains of their respective national teams.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot about, Coach James talks about their belief. He talks about their buy-in. And I think when you've got players who have led teams, they understand how important that is. They understand how important it is for them to be leaders in the locker room, for them to send a consistent message, for them to get buy-in of their teammates, because that's such a key element of success. And, I think players like Ursig, they come in and, the system doesn't matter, the style doesn't matter. They know they've got to come in and buy in and play what on the same page with everybody else. And you can see that tonight. Ursig, hasn't been a huge impact, but she also hasn't stuck out. She's been a part of this team. She's won balls in the air. She's been a target on corner kicks, and she's linked up and played and connected in the midfield. And that's what you want someone to do, especially coming in and playing their first game with a team like this.
Yeah, has not been able to train with this club for very many practices at all. But Abby Ursig, as you mentioned, maybe just the fact that her presence is out on the field, especially on those set pieces, that Washington is certainly aware of where she is.
Yeah, and punts and goal kicks, it certainly has made it hard for Washington to win possession of those.
Here is Bywaters sending it into the box, and again, Harris controls.
And I think that's a dangerous ball from Zaki. I think she wanted to keep it a little bit farther away from Ashlyn Harris. But that ball that's whipped in from the flank, it's bending away from Ashlyn. Not a bad attempt. I think there were numbers there in the box, and certainly a a good idea there from Bywaters.
And Julie Johnson pushing up there from the backfield. That one trickles out of play.
Yeah, and I think there you see the versatility of a Julie Johnson. She's making a very sophisticated tackle down on this end, and then spinning and taking people on and wanting to make an impact on the attacking end. She's that kind of competitor.
Big part of that under 20 World Cup team in 2012. Julie Johnston, obviously one of those younger names, only 22 years old, you're going to have to remember. And there's trouble. Jody Taylor creating it there for the Red Stars defense. And switching fields nicely. Out to Bianca Sierra, who sends it into the box, controlled there by Matheson at the top of the box, and a chance. It trickles into the hands there of Karina LeBlanc.
Good possession there, I think, by the Washington Spirit. They finally got numbers forward again, could keep the ball. A great serve to the far flank where they really had the Red Stars outnumbered on that left flank. Matheson getting forward out of her midfield spot. Kwan having to track Lori Lindsay into the box. So certainly a chance for the Spirit there. And I think the more they can possess like that in the final third, the more chances they might get.
They're pushing up. There's a chance. Bywaters pulls it back, and the shot attempt and the save there from Harris.
A great attempt there from Zakia Bywaters. Cuts the ball back. A great shot on this surface with her right foot. And a good save there by Ashlyn Harris to push that ball outside the frame.
Just needed to get a fingertip on it, and Ashlyn Harris did.
Keisha more ways we can run out of the back, drawing some of that Spirit defense and allow Zakia the chance to cut back.
Here's a corner chance. DiBernardo sending it far post. A little half chance try there for the Red Stars.
I think probably overshot her target there as that ball went, kind of beyond the far post, and Samantha Johnson had to reach and just tried to keep it in play. Another look at that shot, and a good Ashlyn Harris getting down fast, getting that hand out and deflecting that around the post.
The Red Stars have played really to 4 games early in the season, 1-goal decisions. They are 2-2 when it comes to 1-goal decisions here this year.
So I guess we got a 50-50 chance that something happens in the next 30 minutes or so.
That's good math by you. Here's another chance for the Red Stars. That one sails out of play. Into the 59th minute, approaching the 60th minute.
And about the 60th minute is, I think, when coaches start thinking about it. Do I have someone on my bench that can help us here in the last 30 minutes? So I would think that at this point in time, both coaches are thinking about who they have on the bench and how they might impact or change this game. So it'll be interesting to see in the next 5 to 10 minutes if we see a substitution get up off the benches.
For you Washington Spirit fans, Crystal Dunn, her day is done. She had to take a substitute in about the 21st minute there in the first half. That's when Bianca Sierra took her place. And we were saying it really wasn't probably a performance substitution at all for her.
No, and certainly hope that Crystal's okay and that it wasn't anything serious. But, certainly there was something physical going on, that warranted her leaving the game and unable to continue to play. Because certainly I know Crystal would have an impact on this game. Her pace on the flank certainly would give the Red Stars something to deal with, something to handle.
There's a chance from Leone. Hits the crossbar. We talked about how she is a shoot first, pass second.
And that's why. You saw right there why, and what a great volley. That was a touch out of the air, hit that volley. And, it sort of looked like Ashlyn Harris thought just off her chest, doesn't even hit the ground. Ashlyn Harris, I think, thought that ball was going over. Unfortunately for her, it hit the crossbar and went out. But great shot there from Leone. Sort of a misclear from the Spirit, but well taken. She waits for that ball to hit the ground, and that defender gets in the way and probably deflects that shot. So
I was just about to say,
what
to
a quick
settle
release.
it and take the half chance, that is so tough to do midair.
To take a ball out of the air and strike it on frame like that certainly is a skill that a lot of players don't necessarily have. But Leone, like I said, she's a shoot-first type player, and bouncing balls on the ground, she's going to do what she can to get those balls on frame.
We saw Leon, as we had mentioned in the first half, with the best chance. We've seen a couple of great chances here early in this second half here for the Chicago Red Stars.
You know, and right now the Spirit's just having a hard time dealing with the pressure of the Red Stars. And like the first half, the pressure the Red Stars were putting on early was pretty significant, creating turnovers, and the Red Stars creating chances off those turnovers. And I think you're seeing the same thing here at the start of this second half.
In Washington, both of these teams, as you had mentioned, trying to control in the midfield. Also important to mention, though, the Spirit coming off of a game here on Sunday. And here's another look here at that half chance there from Leon.
Yeah, takes it off her chest. You know, she's, 20 yards out, 25, 30 yards out, and takes that half chance, and certainly really gets a hold of that ball and puts some pace on it. And, you know, that ball's 2 inches lower, and we're talking about a 1-0 score, I think.
It's a game of inches, right? Isn't that what coaches
always
say?
Aren't they all? I'm not sure that there's a competitive game out there that you couldn't apply that quote to, especially as you get to the higher levels. So it certainly is that.
So put me on the sideline, Coach, of each team. Let's start with the Red Stars. The adjustment you want to make here as you've seen kind of the second half start to evolve.
You know, I think for the Red Stars, they want to see if they can sustain this pressure. And, I think in their transition moments, can they get a few more numbers forward? So can Kalupny and DiBernardo maybe get a little bit closer to goal, get some chances? Kalupny's a great goal scorer for this team. But in those transition moments, they got to get those numbers forwards quickly.
And as we see the Spirit here in the attacking third, there's a chance into the box. And defended nicely there from the Red Stars. What would be your adjustment here for the Washington Spirit?
You know, I think they may need to take a page out of the Red Stars book and maybe try to get a little bit more penetrating with their passes. Can they penetrate just a little bit more? Here's this service into the box, looking for Lori Lindsay. Certainly in the space in that box, just can't quite get her head to it as two Red Stars certainly make it a little bit more difficult.
Tied at 0 here now in the 64th minute here between Washington and Chicago.
I also think Coach Parsons would talk to his team about handling the pressure of the Red Stars a little bit better. Can they move the ball a little bit quicker and eliminate some of those turnovers that are allowing the Red Stars to transition and get chances? Can they find Taylor's feet and let her keep the ball a little higher up the field and create opportunities for them to play balls in the attacking third?
Again, this is a very young Chicago Red Star club and a team that Rory Dames has been very happy with in terms of just buying into their system here with such a young team. And this is one of the few clubs, in fact, the only club that has dealt with and is playing all of their draft picks from 2013 and 2014, and yet they are still the youngest team in the league in terms of average age of players that they have out there on the pitch.
You know, I think they've, I won't say built this team on the youth of the sport in our country, but certainly have given those players a chance and have believed in some of the young players that they brought into their program. They've put Julie Johnson and Samantha Johnson and Keisha Morway into those positions and given them an opportunity to succeed, and they've done well. But I think they've also surrounded them with some good leadership. You know, we talked about Kalupny and LeBlanc, and they've balanced that youth with enough leadership to give them, I think, what they need to be successful.
And interesting, yet you still have like the Taryn Hemmings, the Addie Ursegs, who we see here today, but you don't have Shannon Box yet back. You don't have Kristen Press yet back. So you talk about the youth, but there's some veterans who are right around the corner.
Absolutely. There's some experience coming in, and I think that will be, a coaching challenge for Coach Dames and his staff to blend those newcomers into this group who certainly works for each other, believes in their system, believes in what they're doing, and has had success. This isn't a team that's struggling, that is looking for a savior to come in. And so certainly blending in that new talent who certainly, they're all going to bring something to the table. And the question is, can this youth make room for those players as they maybe see less playing time? Can they continue to believe and support the mission and make this team
Here's
even better?
Here's a dangerous chance. Excuse me, Janet.
Absolutely.
But a chance here for the Chicago Red Stars. Kolupny, and what a save by Harris. Ashlyn Harris putting on a show here in this second half.
Wow. And did get just a touch on it there to keep that one. And again, Kolupny picking up a loose ball. Hoy putting pressure on the defense to create this sort of turnover. And Ashlyn Harris with a little bit of an acrobatic touch there to keep that ball out of the back of the net. And
So
again, a dangerous corner, as they all are for the Red Stars.
There you again. You see the short option for Kolupny. DiBernardo again sending it into the box, and there is Bywaters trying to chase it down. Bywaters so speedy, taking it herself, takes the chance, and that was off the football goalpost, which is not in play.
No, that's just a goal kick, but you know, a great driven ball in there from Zakia. You know, that hits the crossbar instead of the football goalpost, and we're talking about rebounds and things that are happening in there.
Perhaps she could get 3 points, though.
Okay,
if that went through the uprights, take another look. How close that was.
You know, it's a lot closer than the Washington Spirit staff want it to be, that's for sure.
Playing here at Benedictine University Sports Complex in Lisle, Illinois. Alongside Janet Rayfield, I'm Lisa Bynton. We're happy to have you join us. Again, just an important match here between these two teams. I'm sure that Seattle is keeping close ties and watching this matchup.
Oh, I'm sure they're watching closely. You know, and I think they really wished that they had seen some of the players that might continue to fill out this Red Stars roster. I don't know that they wanted to be Kristen Press's first game or Van Egmond. So you might see some players play against Seattle that they haven't had a chance to scout or see. And, you know, that's probably not what Seattle wanted to happen. But I think for the Red Stars that could be some positive things happening for them.
You mentioned Ursig back from New Zealand, Van Egmond, an Australian product. And, of course, Kristen Press, so important for the U.S. national team. Here is Matheson going end line. And, again, Chicago is there. Right spot, right opportunity.
And, you know, there's Julie Johnson just reading the game, reading the service. Matheson certainly got in behind Keisha Morway. A ball that was dangerous going across the box, but Julie's in the right spot to cut off that service.
You just look at all the time there, even that Quan has even to serve the ball up top. Very little pressure right now here from Washington. And here we go with the Red Stars into the attacking third, looking to serve it into the box. Ursig is there, and so is Harris.
Harris and Krieger, who sort of kept Ursig from really being able to go at that ball. You know, job of a center back, protect your goalkeeper, give her the opportunity to come and get a ball. And Krieger's sophisticated, savvy enough, certainly a seasoned professional herself, knows that that's her job and did it well.
Sending it over to Denisha Adams here for the Washington Spirit. Adams looking to go end line, instead cuts it back into the middle, drops it off there to Matheson. Takes the shot, and that's wide.
You've seen the Spirit several times do that. They get into the box, get a little pass, something, and then lay it back to someone at the top of the box for that long-range shot. If they're going to do that, you know, players like AL in there and have to get those shots on frame. It seems to be something, and we got a substitution here, I guess.
So Alyssa Motz will replace Jen Hoy.
And I think you'll see a little bit of a shift. Zakia Bywaters looks like she's going to go play that high target right now. Again, another pacey player that can get behind. I don't think it will change the tactics of Chicago. I am sure Coach James hopes that it changes the results.
Well, the leading goal scorer right now here for the Chicago Red Stars, Jen Hoy, her day is now done here in the 71st minute.
You know, I think just before that, you heard Coach Dame sort of trying to encourage Hoy to make a run down the flank. And, you know, the job that she does is exhausting. You know, she makes run after run after run, you know, chasing balls down and getting in. And, you know, that's a 70 minutes of a lot of sprinting. And we'll see now if Motts can get in and take some of that load and create an impact in this game.
You see Bywaters there with a little bit of a fresh look there up top, applying some of that pressure, creating a little bit of havoc there for the Washington back line. Zakiya Bywater is also part of that 2013 draft class here for Chicago, also just 22 years old.
Great player from the UCLA program. Had a great career there. Probably didn't have as big an impact in the 2013 season as people might have expected, but really I think has turned the corner as a professional and is starting to really impact this league.
And it will be a Washington throw-in in this Spirit, trying to find some sort of combination that'll work to get a decent chance and a decent look here in the second half. Spirit still controlling even beyond that Chicago pressure. Sending it into the box, and Johnston was there. The quick cut back for the Spirit. And they were going for the head there of Veronica Perez.
And Naren, you know, got behind Alyssa Motts, and as she sprinted to try to recover, cut it back, and certainly had a great opportunity to try to find someone in the box. And I think Motts has got to be a little bit more aware of her defensive responsibilities out there on the flank as Naren floats out wide.
Battle into the air again, going for Matheson. It'll be a Chicago throw-in. Taylor is able to turn, and Chicago intercepts. Anytime it looks like Washington might be flirting with a chance, Chicago responds defensively. And there will be a free kick here coming up for Washington.
Yeah, you know, the Spirit has just really struggled to find that final pass, find that connection in the box that's going to get them a chance other than a long-range shot, sort of a ball played at the top of the box. So they certainly are looking to try to find something in that final third.
Here's another look here at the foul and the hard tackle. It was Keisha Morway for Chicago. Into the 75th minute we go, still no score. Both of these chances, or both of these teams have had chances here in this game. And Chicago probably with the better chances here of the second half. Trying to go up top. Allie Krieger will handle here for Washington.
And again, you know, there's a turnover there. Kolupny winning that ball, trying to come out of the back. Creates another corner kick for the Chicago Red Stars.
Again, this Chicago team and Rory Dames not shy about talking about just a tiny bit of a revenge factor here against this Washington Spirit team that defeated them 1-0 earlier here this season.
Well, you know, it's their only home loss of the season, and I think any team wants to defend their home turf. You want to be successful at home in front of your fans, etc.
DiBernardo sends it in, and guess who's there again? Ashlyn Harris.
And that's probably, I think, maybe one of the better serves, and there were some Red Stars in the area. I don't think the Red Stars have been as dangerous on their corner kicks as they have been in the past.
Talk about the revenge factor. Of course, Rory Dames was quick to note that really the main focus is just getting the 3 points and getting the W.
Because I think we're all chasing, Seattle. And again, this corner kick comes in. Now you've got, several. You've got Julie Johnson challenging for that ball. Hits Ashlyn Harris's hands, and she's able to gather it.
A 5'9" goalkeeper. It helps in situations like that. And the solid takeaway and tackle there from Chicago and Samantha Johnson. Washington retains possession. And the quick turn, you see how fast that Kolupny is controlling and turning on a dime like she does.
Incredibly skillful, and has an explosiveness to her. So her skillfulness can get by you in a heartbeat. And certainly I think the Red Stars would like her to see the ball more and to have the ability to be facing the back line and serve the ball and run at people. But Washington's just made it difficult. Haven't really had a chance for any of the midfielders for either of these teams to do what they'd like to do, and that's create an opportunity for their side.
A flick on, but no one is there for the Spirit. Approaching now the 79th minute here of this match. Matheson at speed. Dumps it off to the left side. There's a shot opportunity, the rebound and the score. Washington goes up 1-0.
Now, and that's the opportunity both teams have been looking for. A midfielder running out of the midfield with the ball at their foot. And you see Matheson get the ball, running at the midfield. Draws Rachel Kwan in a little bit, able to play that ball out wide, and LeBlanc just can't hold on to it. Spirit there to finish that rebound.
Jody Taylor with her 6th goal here this season. And just like that, the Spirit did not have the better looks here in the second half, but they took advantage of one of their best looks.
I would say that is one of their best looks, and really the way that the Red Stars have been getting looks. Pick up a ball in the midfield. Matheson, like she does, her hard work pays off. She's running at their back line, pulls Rachel Kwan centrally to protect the goal, plays the ball out wide, shot on frame, rebound. Washington Spirit up 1-0.
And so this Washington Spirit team, a team that had to play a match against the Boston Breakers on Sunday, then had to travel, decided to come to the Chicago area on Monday, sustaining the pressure so far here of Chicago and leading this one 1-0.
And in a game that on Sunday they came down from a goal twice to be successful. So it's a gritty Washington team, and they've now put themselves in a position to grind this one out and keep the Red Stars off the board and try to sneak away with their second 1-0 win here in Chicago.
And Jody Taylor with her 4th goal here this season. I misspoke and said I gave her 2 more than what she deserved.
I'm sure she was happy about that.
4 here for 2014. We look at a delay here on this corner opportunity here for Chicago.
So Jordan Angeli, I think, comes in for the Washington Spirit here. I'm sure probably a little bit of a defensive move maybe by Coach Parsons to try to keep this game 1-0 to the end.
Well, Ursig knew what she wanted to do on that corner chance, just couldn't get like the right body part to get around on that ball.
And you'll see the Red Stars, I believe, right here answering with a substitution. Keisha Morway leaving the game.
And this is our first look here at Taryn Hemmings.
And what a great moment. I think anytime you see a player from an ACL injury return to the field to play, it's a great moment for them, great moment for their team and for their squad. I was at a preseason practice and was watching Taryn just doing the running and cutting that you do. And at that point in your rehab, when it's been a long time and they still won't let you play contact. And so exciting to see Taryn Hemmings jump on the field. And in an important moment, 10 minutes left for her team to try to get this game back.
You see the wrap there on her left knee, back from the ACL reconstruction, 28 years old. So the first look here for Red Star fans for Taryn Hemmings and Abby Ursig here tonight. But the home team down a goal in the 82nd minute. Jody Taylor, again, she's caused so many problems. Has the one goal here tonight. She had a couple of goals on Sunday against the Boston Breakers, the last game that Washington played. So 3 goals in the last 2 games here for Jody Taylor.
And you know, and she's a goal scorer. You know, she's hunting that ball. She's making that run just in case it hits a post. Goalkeeper doesn't hold on to it. LeBlanc can't quite get hands to it that can keep it in. Jody Taylor's going to be there to finish it, and that's what goal scorers like to do. They hunt anything in that box and try to get it in the back of the net, and Jody certainly has done that. And now the possession that the Spirit has found most of the game is going to pay off. It's going to help them keep this game. It's going to help them kill this game and keep the score as it is. So I think you'll see their possession in this middle third and back third even more and more now that they've got a 1-goal lead.
This game's so important for both teams. A win for Washington would tie them for second place here for the Chicago Red Stars at 19 points here in the league. As we had mentioned, the Red Stars trying to keep pace with Seattle in first place. All 3 of these teams were in the bottom 4 in 2013 in the league standings. Washington controlling, and
you know, and you can see the Red Stars are starting to push numbers forward. Jody Taylor's up here a little bit by herself. Certainly Johnson and Johnston back to try to keep that, but you're seeing Kwan get forward. You're seeing Taryn Hemmings now entered the game get forward, and the Red Stars are certainly going to start to take some chances.
A little physicality battle. And that one out of play. It'll be a goal kick coming up here for Washington.
And Ashlyn Harris will take her time on this goal kick, as she will every goal kick from here on out, is my guess, and certainly can understand why.
Into the 85th minute we go. Washington with the 1-goal lead over the Chicago Red Stars. These 2 teams will meet 3 times here in the 2014 season. This is the second of the 3 meetings. And a foul there on Chicago.
And as numbers get forward, you see LeBlanc come to take this kick.
Another chance sending it back into the box, and Bywaters was there, couldn't control. And the clear from Washington. And here's another look. And now it's the Spirit responding to every offensive chance that Chicago has. That one to the far post. Bywaters flicking it on. Battling to keep it in the box. She does. Far post. And what a chance for the Red Stars.
That ball bouncing, getting across the box, back across the box. You saw Laurie Kolupny there, put her hands on her head, just, again, inches away from getting her foot to that and maybe putting that into the back of the net.
Oh, what a story that would have been. Taryn Hemmings returning from the ACL reconstruction. If she could get a point here tonight.
And
what a comeback
looks like
story that
the
would
Red
be.
Stars may be going to a 3-back here. Win-0, I think, just entered the game. And I think you might see Julie Johnston now put herself up near the goal.
Oh, a handball. A handball penalty there on Hemmings, so Washington will get a free kick.
And not necessarily the smartest, I think, there, because certainly now it gives the Spirit a chance to slow things down, take their time. Better off battling for that ball and trying to win it outright. But time is ticking, and certainly the clock is Washington's friend right now.
To the 87th minute. There will be some stoppage time, of course. Washington leading the home team here 1-0. Right around the 60th minute, we saw some tactical adjustments here from both of these teams. Coach is trying to find that missing piece. Ball into Ursig, there into the center of the field. And she has Kwong, but overplays her. And again, Washington will take its time with these restarts. It will be Chicago ball. Into the 89th minute. Jody Taylor, number 14 for Washington, the lone goal here tonight. And the clear, a big one there for Washington.
And certainly the Washington defense is holding their own. A great opportunity there. Kalepny trying to settle a ball in box. Krieger reading that, being patient, just not allowing her to get in and get a shot off. Krieger certainly doing a stellar job holding this defense down in the back tonight.
Kwan trying to drive it into the box. And again, Washington controlling. Here's Jody Taylor. All alone. She'll stall for some support. She gets it there on the left side.
And Washington forcing the Red Stars to do exactly what they wanted them to do, get it out of bounds, let them keep the ball on that end.
And Taylor there on the ground, maybe eating up a little bit of time.
Just taking her time getting up. I don't think the Washington Spirit's going to do anything very quickly other than possess the ball when the clock is running. But their time wasting is going to get somebody a yellow card. The referee thinks the same thing, that they should be moving a little bit quicker than they were. And I think I have to agree with them on that one.
And there was a lot of stall tactics there before they even inbounded the ball into the corner, which is the perfect place for a stall tactic. Sitting in that corner. Into the 90th minute we go.
90th minute we go, and I must have missed that substitution. Veronica Perez coming on for the Washington Spirit, player from the University of Washington. So, again, so a little bit of fresh legs to make sure that defensively they keep this game on their side.
Now they're adding a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time.
3 more minutes for the Red Stars to try to make something happen.
We are now officially in stoppage time here between these two teams, Washington and Chicago, the second of 3 meetings here in the 2014 season. The next time these two teams will meet, August 2nd.
this score remains the same, the Red Stars will have to wait a long time to get revenge on both these 1-0 defeats here at home.
This was such a big game here for Chicago. Of course, meeting Seattle, the first place team, right around the corner coming up here this weekend. An important game for Washington. A win gives them the 3 points to tie them for second here in the league. Going in line.
DiBernardo, hurrying to get this corner off, knowing that it's one of their last chances. And we'll see the numbers get forward. We'll see players fill this box, I'm sure.
There have been a few corner chances here for Chicago. Here's another one. DiBernardo, the service. An opportunity here for the Red Stars. And the shot there from Kwong. That was wide left.
Again, another good chance. Certainly a good service in from DiBernardo. Ball bouncing around. Just need to get that shot on frame and try to make something happen. Certainly the Red Stars are doing that. They're throwing everything forward, trying to make something happen. Just haven't gotten the shot on frame that they really need.
Again, we are in stoppage time here between the Red Stars and the Spirit. Perez, one of the subs here for the Spirit, battling with the back line for Chicago. What a game Jody Taylor has had here for Washington.
And certainly here in this last, since she scored the goal, she's been all over the place. She's been able to keep this ball running, keeping, and certainly going to make her one goal stand.
Taylor, as we mentioned, had the couple of goals on Sunday against Boston. She has the lone goal here tonight. 3 of her 4 goals here this season coming in the last 2 games alone.
Finding her stride in the goal-scoring part of the world.
Well, time is ticking down here for the Chicago Red Stars. In stoppage time here against Washington, down a goal, Kwan sending it up and over the top. Trying to chase it down there is Julie Johnson. And there it is, the whistle to end it.
And again, great defense there at the end by Allie Krieger. Holds Julie Johnson up in the corner, doesn't even let her knock it off of her for a corner kick. And this Washington defense, Krieger, Huster, certainly done a great job tonight in terms of holding off this Red Star team that had been scoring goals fairly regularly in their last 4 games on the road, but struggled to score a goal here at home tonight.
Yeah, they had outscored opponents 12-3 when they were road warriors in those 4 games they're on the road, but could not find the back of the net here tonight.
And that's sometimes the pressure of playing at home creates those things for you, but I think you got to credit the Washington Spirit defense. I think the defense of the Spirit really did limit the ability for the Red Stars to get behind him. Their midfield defense was pretty good. You can count on one hand the number of times that Kolupny or DiBernardo were running at you with the ball.
And how about the saves from Ashlyn Harris, even to start here this second half, with the chances that Chicago had?
The chances, the save she made on Jen Hoy early in the game to start that first half, and certainly the save against Lori Kolupny. She makes 2 key saves. Karina LeBlanc didn't have to do a lot. There's the save from Harris off Bywaters. Certainly the crossbar helps her out. Between the crossbar and her ability in the goal, she certainly has made those saves. And I think that's important.
And Washington had very few chances in the second half, but they made the most of the one great look that they had.
And I think that's a player like Matheson. She makes a great decision with that ball as she's moving forward. As we look at some of the highlights here from the second half, you don't see a lot. You see Matheson on the ball there. She certainly was, I think, key in creating a lot of their chances, getting it and moving forward. Here she gets behind Morway. Julie Johnson does a good job just of being in the passing channel that she could. A lot of people thought handball there, but I think she did a good job of turning her body. But here, look at them swarm Kolupny and not really let her get running at the back line or doing things, knocking balls out for corner kicks and then defending those corner kicks well.
There's another corner chance, and Chicago certainly had plenty of corner opportunities
And I
here
think
tonight.
you're going to see the goal. Matheson gets the ball. She's running their back line, plays that ball out wide, still makes some movement in the box. And I think that's one LeBlanc probably wishes she had over again. You know, that's a ball that I think 9 times out of 10 she holds on to, doesn't give up that rebound, and we've got at least a 0-0 game. But certainly a goal scorer like Taylor is going to go for that. She's going to say, if you don't hold on to it, I'm going to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what you like with goal scorers. Last chance there for the Red Stars. Again, what a story that would have been if Hemmings had put that one on frame. And there you see the handball to try to win a ball. But all it really did was give the Spirit some time, opportunity to waste some time.
So 2 meetings between these 2 teams, and both ending in 1-0 decisions for the Washington Spirit. April 26th, Washington coming in here and winning on the home turf of Chicago, and doing it again here on June 4th.
You know, and Coach Parsons talks about the grittiness of his team. They're finding ways to win. They're fighting through. They're coming from behind, and they're getting things done. And certainly this 1-0 win was great.
And so the unbeaten streak, the 6-game unbeaten streak, the second longest here in league history, now done for Chicago. And the Washington Spirit and Chicago Red Stars now tied for second in this league here with 19 points. It's going to be a race to the finish. Janet Rayfield, it's been a pleasure here tonight.
Lisa, it's been a pleasure, and look forward to hearing you in the league from here on out. It's been a great night of soccer, and there's a lot more to come here in the NWSL.
A beautiful night here from Lisle, Illinois, and so happy that you could join us here tonight. Again, a 1-0 victory for the Washington Spirit over the Chicago Red Stars. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today. With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place